Hi guys, today is newsletter day, so here I am joining you from the comfort of my current home. We are in the process of shifting again, but that's all fun and lots of exercise, so woo! But anyway, today what I wanted to talk to you about was this concept of high intensity training or high intensity interval training. They're sort of much of a muchness. They're a particular way of training that is intended to get your heart rate up and then down. So the change in your heart rate is where the magic actually happens, and the extreme of your heart rate and the different muscle fibers that will activate and the hormonal shifts that will create. So the reason why I want to talk to you about this today is because for a lot of people, one of the biggest barriers to movement or exercise is the time factor. It's legitimate. You know, a lot of us are working from the time we wake up in the morning to the time we go to bed. Whether or not that is right or wrong is another debate. However, that is sometimes the reality or lifestyle of a lot of us. So what I wanted to share with you was that doesn't mean we should write off exercise or movement altogether. As I've said over and over before, and I will always say over and over again, we are designed to move. Our bodies love to move. It's good for them. And getting those muscles working, getting the oxygen in, and getting those endorphins pumping is going to do so much for our whole well-being, not just our fat loss or weight, but for our mind, for our clarity, for our moods, and everything else in between. So there was a documentary that my girlfriend was talking about with me this morning on our epic national park walk, which I personally love. And it was talking about, 3 minutes of exercise per week. Could it make a difference to a person's health? And pretty much the parameters they were testing were insulin sensitivity, so how effectively we actually use the hormone insulin within our body, and also our cardiovascular fitness. They were the major parameters that they were looking at. And you can Google this. It was on a documentary called The Truth About Exercise, and just look up 3 minutes or HIT, high intensity training. And basically, yes, there was a benefit for this guy doing this for 4 weeks. 3 minutes in terms of the intense aspect of the exercise a week. 3 minutes a week. That's not a day. But how that works out is you do a warm-up for 3 minutes, then you go flat out for 30 seconds, and then you have 2 to 3 minutes recovery. And then you go flat out for another 30 seconds, and then you have 2-3 minutes recovery, and one more round of doing 20 to 30 seconds flat out, 2 to 3 minutes recovery. So you can see there in that span of 10 minutes or so, you've done 1 minute of full-on activity. That is it, 1 minute of full-on activity. Then if you do that 3 times a week, you've done 3 minutes of full-on activity, and all up 30 minutes for the whole week. There is definitely benefit to this style of training in terms of all sorts of hormone production that goes on within the body. One thing I really love, and why I adopted a similar style of training, was the activation of human growth hormone. This is an anti-aging hormone. This is something that keeps our muscles intact and there in our body rather than breaking down. It is a brilliant hormone that we want in our body. In fact, so much so that people can actually inject it in parts of the world. I don't think it's legal, but we can actually produce it ourselves by doing this particular style of training. The way I do mine, and I posted some pics on the weekend, more in Instagram, is what's called peak 8 training. The way I do mine is I do a 5-minute warm-up, and then I go flat out for 30 seconds on the treadmill because I really prefer the treadmill to the bike. And then I do 90 seconds recovery, and I repeat that 8 times. So a total of 8 cycles, which ends up being 18 minutes worth of full-on exercise pretty much, with a 5-minute warm-up and a 5-minute cool down. So I'm done in, 18 23, 28 minutes, I think that works out to be, just doing it off the top of my head. Under 30 minutes. And if I just do a little bit longer, I can usually clock up 5 kilometers in that space of time, which is fantastic. I'm sweating by the end of it. I feel like I've really, really worked hard, and it's quick and it's easy. And yeah, it's afterwards, you feel wonderful. You feel like you've invigorated, that you've really done something effective, and you can feel that the muscles in your body have worked. When you're doing this style of training, you're using your fast twitch muscle fibers that we don't always use, and they're the key and the secret to this style of training. They're the ones that make all the difference. You can run and run and run miles and never actually activate these muscles. So doing this style of training is a great way to mix up what you do on a regular basis. As I said, my love is to do long walks, but in terms of fitness and fat burning, it's not really going to change a great deal for me, and my body's used to that. So to mix it up, sometimes I just bring in this high intensity interval training, which can be fun if I prepare my mind for it. So yes, what I wanted to say to you is little bits can make a massive difference. There are plenty of people around, not just with cardio techniques, but also with weights techniques that have intense but short exercise routines that can absolutely revolutionize your energy, your weight, your health, your fitness, how you feel about yourself. So if in your head a barrier is the amount of time that you have in a day, please reconsider what you can do with the time that you have. We all have 5 minutes. We all have 10 minutes even. Hell, we probably even have 20 minutes 3 times a week. So if you do have that, just grab it and use it and optimize what you can do in that time and start where you're at. You know, my full on and going flat out is going to be different to the person next to me. And that's the wonderful thing about this style of training, is you can modify it exactly to your level of fitness. Hard out is your hard out. It's whatever is you going as fast as you can for that period of time. So that's why I love it, because it's absolutely individualized and completely able to be tailored for each and every person's unique fitness levels and also preferences. A lot of this, the shorter, like the 20-second one on the 3-minute style is better to do on a bike, because you actually do use more muscles than you use on a treadmill. I just don't love the bikes. When I had stress fractures, yes, I got on the bike, but it's not my love. I love to be moving my legs, I think, is rather than just, yeah, anyway. So I'd love to hear what you think of this and what you think you can do with it. If cardio is not your thing at all, look at the body weight exercise routines that you can do. Google is our friend. YouTube is our friend. So there are, for example, burpee style exercises, mountain climbers, all those sorts of things that will give you an all-over intense body workout in under 10 minutes. And that is awesome. So yes, 3 minutes a week can make a difference, and I challenge you to do a little bit of research on this and find out if it would suit you. Always get advice if you're not sure. Don't be silly and overtax yourself, and don't go from doing no exercise to going flat out. Please be careful, please honor your body, and please see your GP if you need to and have the relevant cardiovascular, blood pressure and so forth tests done first. But a good baseline measure is all of your sugar and insulin levels, and then have those retested 3 months down the track of doing this style of training, and then see what you can achieve. As always, guys, sending you lots of love and support and enthusiasm for a healthy lifestyle. It's doable for all of us, and it's everyone's birthright to live a happy, long life. So until next time, I will stay well, and I hope you do too. Lots of love. Bye.